We have serendipity today, two works from late Victorian England with much the same satirical attitude toward their society. The importance of being earnest we have considered. Union Avenue Opera has just performed Gilbert and Sullivan's H.M.S. Pinafore. The pair hit it big with this, their fourth collaboration. Gilbert and Sullivan are broader, more cartoonish than Wilde, mostly thanks to W.S. Gilbert, I assume. Sullivan's music keeps things sounding jolly, but its own wit can range widely, and its ballads of love or loss have their own beauty. The mocking begins with the title. A pinafore, an apron-like apparel often worn by children, hardly seems appropriate for a battleship of the Royal Navy. But this is a navy ruled by the Right Honorable Sir Joseph Porter, KCB, First Lord of the Admiralty. As he admits in a zippy autobiographical song, as an apprentice in a law firm, he had polished its brass handles so well that he soon was made a partner in the firm, then a member of Parliament, and eventually the ruler of the Queen's Navy, though that partnership was the only ship he'd ever been acquainted with. But Gilbert's principal thrust at the absurdities of the British caste system springs from the operetta's love stories. Ralph Rackstraw, a sailor in the crew of the Pinafore, has fallen in love with Josephine, the daughter of the captain of the ship, and she with him. But the difference in their classes makes marriage impossible, and Sir Joseph wants to marry her. Her father, Captain Corcoran, sees the obvious social, political, and professional advantages of such a union and encourages it. But the captain himself suffers from his own affection for Buttercup, the peddler who regularly visits the Pinafore to sell snuff and tobacco and excellent Jackie to the crew. And she loves him. Again, the class difference makes it impossible for them even to admit their love. I would commit a spoiler to explain how Gilbert unites the couples while magnifying the absurdities of the class system. But as this production is closed, and many people who see Pinafore already know the story, I will simply say that the solution makes clear that one's position in society, like Sir Joseph's ascension to the Admiralty, has nothing to do with one's abilities or experience, but with the name and position assigned to one at birth. Change that, and all is well. Conductor Scott Schoonover led the orchestra and the cast with the bright, bouncy joy one wants to hear from a Sullivan score, setting the right tone for Gilbert's libretto, which the cast maintained. Lovely Leann Schuering as Josephine and handsome Anthony Heinemann as Ralph sang splendidly and hit the proper acting style. So did Stephen Condy, an accomplished comic actor, with the broader comedy of Sir Joseph. His patter song was clear and given an amusing dynamic by its repeated stops and starts. Thomas Gunther was a sympathetic Captain Corcoran, given the confusions he faced, and Katherine Calcamuggio a delight as Little Buttercup. Jason Mallory showed the proper authority as the boatswain's mate, and Jacob Lassetter was a disaffected troublemaker as Dick Deadeye, with one dead eye. The choruses of sailors and of Sir Joseph's sisters, cousins, and aunts blended well and sometimes succeeded, when not singing, to find something convincing to do. I think director Eric Gibson might have invented more for them to do. Their dance numbers refreshed, clever, and simple enough. Perhaps more unison activity would be a way to go. The company, or someone, decided to move the time forward a few decades. The Pinafore was a steamship, not a sailing ship, in Kyra Bishop Sanford's design, with smokestacks looming above. The stage seemed cramped with some difficult entrances. Andy Vieluf's light sometimes left part of the stage dim and sometimes flickered oddly. Teresa Doggett's costumes were up to her usual high standards. On the whole, Union Avenue Opera's H.M.S. Pinafore was, like the best of Gilbert and Sullivan, wicked, light-hearted fun.
Yes, it was, and I'm glad Union Avenue is interested in doing operetta as well as opera.
Every now and then. Let's hear some of the music.
I do my